is a very powerful discussion. And who narrated the last hadith? Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. All right, so you guys got the first question down. What's Abu Dharr's actual name? Jundub. Okay, Jundub al-Ghifari, i.e. Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Now the last 2 weeks have been narrated by Abu Dharr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. The first hadith which we narrated from him was the one with the scrolls of Ibrahim alayhi salam, Suhuf Ibrahim. The last hadith was when the Prophet ﷺ told him that you are not fit for leadership, and he told him, do not ask for leadership, don't seek leadership. This hadith is in a similar context. قَالَ قُلْتُ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. Abu Dharr says, I asked the Prophet ﷺ. So it's in a similar context. And Abu Dharr radiallahu ta'ala anhu is asking the Prophet ﷺ for practical ways by which he can do his part. So this hadith is special. It's narrated in many different narrations, many different forms. So that's the first thing I want you to know. You'll find it in different books, and you'll find it with slightly different wordings. So you may have heard me actually say this hadith before with a slightly different wording, because Abu Dharr is narrating a long conversation between him and the Prophet ﷺ. So one word might be different here or there, but it's the same context, the same conversation that's taking place. The hadith is actually narrated, this one that we're going to go over is in At-Tabarani. It's narrated by Abu Kathir radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, who asked Abu Dharr this question, or he asked Abu Dharr about this hadith during the time of Hajj, literally, precisely narrated at the second of the Jamarat al-Wusta. So the middle of the three pillars, as they were stoning and Abu Dharr was crowded, he said, I went to Abu Dharr radiallahu ta'ala anhu and I asked him, what are the things that protect a person from hellfire? What are the things that would stop a person from being punished by the fire? So he says, I asked the Prophet ﷺ this question. قال قلت يا رسول الله. I said to the Prophet ﷺ, ماذا ينجي العبد من النار? What is it that will protect a servant of Allah from the fire? What is it that protects someone from hellfire? So he said that the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Imanu Billah, faith in Allah. So to have faith, Iman is what protects from hellfire. That's the starting point that would protect a person from punishment, right? It starts with faith. But he knows, the Prophet ﷺ knows the inquisitive nature of Abu Dharr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and he knows that there's a follow-up question to this. So he gave Abu Dharr a very simple answer, knowing that Abu Dharr's next question will highlight what he's really looking for with that question. Okay? Does that make sense to you? Meaning, Abu Dharr clearly is about to ask the Prophet ﷺ many questions. So if the Prophet ﷺ makes an assumption about what angle Abu Dharr is coming from when he says what protects a person from hellfire, then he might not give Abu Dharr what he's looking for. So he gave Abu Dharr a very simple answer. Faith in Allah. Now what is it that you're really looking for? Because Abu Dharr always has a follow-up question, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. قال قلت يا رسول الله. He said, I asked the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إن مع الإيمان عملا. Are there actions that accompany faith? So what are the deeds that accompany faith? So that's really what he's trying to get at. What are some practical tips that I can do to protect myself from hellfire? Now, it's important here that, because the way that this hadith goes on, the way this narration goes on, Abu Dharr does not get the answer that the Prophet ﷺ gives the Bedouin, where he teaches him the 5 pillars. And basically, the man says, I'm not going to do any more or any less. And the Prophet ﷺ says, if he's telling the truth, then he will enter paradise. He will be protected from the fire.